What if the voice you call intuition isn't yours alone, but an echo of those who walked before you? There are moments in life that defy logic. You hesitate before making a decision you had already committed to. You feel an unexplainable pull toward a place, a person, or a path you never planned. And sometimes, you just know something without knowing why. We call it intuition, a gut feeling, instinct. But what if that feeling isn't random? What if it's guidance? Imagine this. Long before you were born, generations of people lived, struggled, survived, and learned. They faced impossible choices, endured heartbreak, made sacrifices, and through it all, they gathered wisdom. Not just knowledge, but lived truth. And according to many spiritual traditions, that wisdom doesn't disappear when they do. It lingers. Not loudly, not in ways that interrupt your life, but subtly, like a whisper beneath your thoughts. Ancestral guidance is said to operate like this quiet undercurrent. When logic reaches its limit, something deeper steps in. That hesitation you feel before making a bad decision, that may not be fear, it may be protection. That sudden clarity in a confusing moment may not be coincidence, it may be guidance. Think about the times you avoided something without understanding why, only to later realize you were right. Or when you felt drawn towards something that changed your life. What if those weren't accidents? What if they were interventions? This perspective doesn't ask you to abandon reason. Instead, it asks you to expand it, to consider that your awareness might not be confined to your own experience, that perhaps beneath your conscious mind, there exists a deeper intelligence shaped not just by you, but by everyone who came before you. And maybe you've been listening to it your whole life without realizing. Now, if ancestral guidance exists, it doesn't speak in sentences. It doesn't announce itself. It communicates through patterns. Look closely at your life, and you'll begin to notice something strange. Certain experiences repeat, not exactly the same, but similar enough to feel familiar. The same types of challenges, the same emotional triggers, the same kinds of relationships. It's easy to call this coincidence, but repetition often signals something unfinished. Many believe these patterns are not just personal, but ancestral, that the struggles you face today may be echoes of unresolved experiences from those before you, not as a burden, but as an opportunity, an invitation to break the cycle. And the signs don't stop there. Have you ever seen the same number repeatedly, encountered the same symbol or animal at oddly specific moments, or had a dream so vivid featuring someone you lost that it felt more real than waking life? These are often described as synchronicities, moments where life seems to align in a way that feels intentional. Dreams, in particular, are powerful. In them, the noise of daily life fades, logic loosens its grip, and what remains is a space where messages can come through more clearly, a conversation without words, a presence without form. Even physical sensations can carry meaning, a sudden warmth, a sense of calm in a moment of fear, a familiar scent that appears out of nowhere. These experiences are often dismissed, but across cultures, they've long been interpreted as signs of presence. Not to frighten, but to reassure, to say you're not alone. When you begin to pay attention, not obsessively, but consciously, you start to see the patterns not as random events, but as a language, a silent one.
Beyond
but
the signs and
precise.
synchronicities lies something even deeper, something embedded within you. Your tendencies, your fears, your natural gifts. Where do they come from? Science points to genetics and environment, and that's true, partly. But there are aspects of who you are that seem too specific, too inherited, to be explained purely by biology. Talents you never trained for, fears you can't trace back to any personal experience. It's as if your life didn't start from zero, but from a continuation. This is where the idea of ancestral imprinting comes in. The belief that your lineage doesn't just pass down DNA, but also emotional patterns, unresolved conflicts, and unrealized potential. Think about it. Someone in your family may have dreamed of something they never achieved. Another may have carried pain they never healed. And somewhere along the line, that unfinished energy continues. Not to trap you, but to be resolved through you. This is why certain paths feel right, even when they're difficult. Why some challenges feel deeply personal, as if they carry weight beyond your own story. Because, in a way, they do. You are not just living your life, you are completing a narrative. And here's the powerful part. Awareness changes everything. The moment you recognize a pattern, it loses its unconscious control over you. The moment you understand where a fear might come from, you gain the power to confront it. And the moment you step into a gift that feels bigger than you, you honor not just yourself, but everyone who carried it before you. In this sense, ancestral guidance isn't about dependency, it's about continuity. You are both the result and the resolution.
Grief changes you. When you lose someone, it feels like a door has closed permanently. Their voice fades, their presence disappears, and what remains is absence. But what if grief isn't the end of the relationship? What if it's a transformation of it? In many traditions, the departed are not gone. They've simply shifted form, no longer physically present, but still connected, still aware, still invested in your journey. When you begin to see it this way, grief takes on a different meaning. It stops being just about loss and becomes about connection, a different kind of connection. Instead of asking, why did they leave? The question becomes, how are they still with me? And this shift opens the door to partnership. Simple acts can strengthen this connection. Speaking to them out loud or in your thoughts, lighting a candle in their memory, keeping an object that reminds you of them, even sitting in silence and acknowledging their presence. These are not rituals of desperation. They are gestures of respect, of continuity. And something remarkable happens when you do this. The relationship evolves. It becomes less about longing for what was and more about engaging with what still is. You begin to feel supported, not in a way that replaces human connection, but in a way that deepens your sense of grounding. Decisions feel less isolating, challenges feel less overwhelming, because you're no longer facing them alone. And perhaps the most powerful idea of all is this: when you heal, you don't just heal yourself, you heal the lineage. Every cycle you break, every fear you confront, every step you take toward growth, it ripples backward and forward. It brings resolution to the past and clarity to the future. So maybe the unseen presence in your life isn't something to question or fear.
Maybe it's something to work with, a quiet alliance, guiding you one step at a time.
If this conversation gave you something to think about, a new perspective, or even a small sense of clarity, then this channel is for you. Consider joining this growing community by subscribing and leave a like on the video so more people searching for answers can find these ideas too. Your support keeps these conversations alive. Until the next video, keep reflecting, keep growing, and keep pondering life's journeys.